Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Samantha Cummings, here with my co-host Matilda Swift, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over 24 books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week we're recapping our SPS live experience. But first, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
Okay. My win is like a really weird, cute coincidence. I have had a very sociable day today because it's Father's Day and I've been to see my family. And then I came back and we had our workshop, a monthly workshop. And then my new neighbours over the road had invited everyone around to come for like drinks and nibbles and things. So I went there. And the person I sat down next to is someone who I've met only once because she doesn't live super near me. She lives a few doors down on the other side of the street, and it's quite a big road. So on the other side is the other people. I know people on my side of the street. But so I met her once recently because there was an alarm going off in her house and she was trying to find some help. And then I sat down next to her just by coincidence, not someone I had any reason to be chatting to, and we got a little bit talking. But like just quite polite. And then she was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a writer." And what do you do? I'm a social worker. And then I can't remember how it came up, but she was like, "I've always wanted to write." I was like, "What would you like to write?" Cozy mysteries. I was like, "Oh, you have sat next to the right person." And she's like, "Yeah, I have never done it because I'm always just really kind of flighty around, a bit distractible. Like I sort of start something and then I don't quite know what I'm doing, and then I stop it and I start and stop." I was like, "Here are 3 how to write cozy mystery books you can start with. And here is the writing group that I go to every Wednesday where we just sit and write." So yeah, that felt like I was sent there,
Yes.
you know, to share my knowledge.
That's
because I really had no time to
freaky.
go. I know. And like nobody in the UK really, like, it's not a big genre here. So
No.
yeah, very intriguing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it felt nice. It felt like maybe a little bit of a passing of the torch. I don't know what it felt like. It didn't feel like that. Anyways, that's my win. Was like that's actually lovely. I felt very felt nice to help somebody. Because also she's retiring soon, so she's retiring in January, and she'd said, "Oh, maybe I'll start writing in January." It's like, "Here, you can get prepped from now." How lovely for you. And then do I have any whinges? I'm very tired because my other win is that I just came back from a week-long retreat, which was delightful, in a little cabin in the woods with a deer and some bunnies and like our favourite little friend squirrel who had the stumpy tail, who was always chasing off the other squirrels and stole a knife from me.
Yeah,
and I
sounds
was
like a squirrel.
Yeah, it was a great squirrel. He had a lot of attitude, like a pirate squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
So that was delightful, but I was so tired when I came back, so I went straight from SPS to the retreat for a solid week where I was like planning a new series, still doing lots of genre research, then came home, had a chat to a friend who'd been catting for me, like good deep chats, and then just fell asleep at like 7:30 last night. So still have a whinge in that I'm still very tired because I've been very sociable today again, so after this podcast I am just going to go to sleep again early, maybe on the sofa again.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a lot. Yeah, my wins are, we did the workshop today, which was, oh my God, it's like epiphany everywhere. I really feel like I had some great breakthroughs about money and just all sorts of stuff. So I'm feeling very happy and tired, mentally and emotionally tired from that.
Yeah. And it was like the topic that we both said we didn't want to do at all. Therefore, I said like you have to do it because it's about money and worth.
Definitely needed to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was it was tough but really, really good. And now I feel like I'm just going to be talking garbage now. But anyway.
But also the workbook will be available. By the way, we forgot to put this earlier. The workbook will be available to purchase if you didn't get a chance to attend and you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really, really good. Other wins for this weekend is that I I'm ready to upload my manuscript to Amazon for my book that's coming out next Monday on the 29th. So that's very fun. Like, I'm all done. I just had to wait because I had to put the third book up for pre-order so that I could put a link in to the second book. So I'm all over it. I'm feeling great about that, and it's been very fun. I also just had I've had a really busy week with my day job, where
you say this every week now.
Yes,
quit
because
this job. It's awful.
I've been delivering a big project, and it's so close to be finished, and I'm very excited for it to be done. So it's been really busy, but it's also been just like a really nice week at work. We went out for dinner on Thursday as a team, and like I am really, really lucky for who I work with, because we have such a good time together, and we are all just absolutely the worst people a restaurant wants to have in there. We're so loud and we just laugh so much. So it was really nice, and I've had a really nice social weekend as well. I saw some friends yesterday and saw my family today. Just feeling very like productive and like social and tired, but in a good way. Yeah, like and the thing is, like, yesterday I saw, like, I had a really good social day, but I also did all of my admin, because I went into the co-working thing that we've got on Discord, and I was on my own. That's fine. It happens every now and again.
I was on a train, sorry.
And but I still show up because it's my time to work anyway. So I just was by myself on screen, and I got all my stuff done, and I was like, I've done all the stuff. There is no need for me to, to cancel plans with anybody, or to not show up to things. I can do it all. So I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm very positive and happy today. Like, I'm feeling great. I'm just tired.
Fantastic. Okay, yeah, same. So we are having a recap episode today. We're recapping SPS Live 2026 that we both just attended. So it was a new venue. So a lot of stuff changed this year. We had a new venue, a new format. Day one was sort of the same as ever, in that it was a big full day of everyone in all the same sessions. And then day two, it's a slight variation last year. So there were 6 options at every single time slot, and you chose one, and then you had to find the room that was not well signposted, and it was like a good adventure to try and find the room and eat some snacks along the way and wave at a lot of people that you didn't have time to talk to. So a little bit different this year, but it was your first year attending both days. How did it feel to come to the whole thing?
It was very tiring. It was it's strange, because I think that now that I've done 2 years, day one definitely felt less important to me, because day one is really like people giving their kind of opinion on what works, like what, how like the business works for them and what works for them, and it was very apparent that there is no one way, and I know that, but it was just like just a whole day's reminder of everyone's journey and everyone's business is very different. You just have to find what works for you. So I was a little bit like, I've just spent a whole day listening to things that I already know, but it was good because I enjoyed it still, but it did feel like I find, because I'm really like, I'm the bad person in class who is listening to people talk and can't keep their face straight, like I try not to roll my eyes, and I really struggle because I listen to people talking and I'm just like, oh, this guy, like, oh, this, like, can't believe he just said that.
You can do that. I think there's a good amount of muttering of this guy.
Definitely didn't. I'm not able to hide my facial expressions. I have a plasticine face, so. There was, I feel like I maybe rolled my eyes a couple of times, but only because sometimes, like, when I'm in a big room of people talking at me, I become a student again. I turn into like that person inside that's just like, I don't want people telling me what to do. I can do my own thing. Is that kind of that? And
will attend a conference.
Yeah, and like have gone to a conference to feel like the naughty girl at school again. Just stupid stuff like that. But it was really enjoyable. I loved seeing everybody and meeting new people. The second day was, because it was my first time doing the second day was really, really good. I really loved being able to listen to more specific things about business stuff. Like how to do Kickstarter, and I've already forgotten like all of the other things that I went to, but how to make better use of like readers and fans, and yeah, like all of the things. And I made loads of notes. I've got a pad just filled with like scribbles of notes that I'm gonna have to try and go through at some point and figure out. But if it left me feeling like there was loads of opportunities on the table, like there were so many things that I could pick and choose from to expand into or to try different things. So it was, I did come away from it thinking like, oh, I feel like I can see how I can improve my business, which was really nice. Yeah, but I was very tired.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like, it just feel like it goes so quickly, but just feel very tiring. I think what's odd about it is like it's 2 days, and Ireland's just 2 days, and yet it feels so brief. I feel like I spoke to nobody. I waved and had like a 2-second interaction with, I would say, a good 50 people, which is maybe
Every time I saw you, you were
people.
talking to someone else.
Right? I need to be less
You're
sociable.
all over the place. It's like, oh, you're talking to, oh, you're talking to, oh, you're talking to them. Yeah.
I know. I don't really know how it's happened.
You just know too many people.
Really nice. Yeah, 100%. And everyone I know was nice. I can't call anybody, but maybe I need to wear a disguise next year. Because there's a lot of people in for me. I'm not that sociable.
Yeah.
And also I just feel like I didn't have any deep conversations with anybody. Like I had a lot of very quick interactions. Whereas Ireland, I think because you're staying on site and you're there Monday to Friday, it does just feel like you've got time to really sit. Like you eat all the meals with like on site basis, there's nowhere to go. It feels like you have a lot more deep conversations, and I don't really know why, because like breakfast, you're not. I sat with the person I stayed with in the room with, a friend of the podcast, Jen, for breakfast, and sometimes we'd like have other people at our table, but not often. You know, we'd mostly just eating breakfast, like focus on the buffet, and then you go to a room. I guess there's only 2 rooms. You're often sat next to somebody and you're sat there waiting for the thing to start. You're often sat next to somebody and you can seek out someone you want to talk to. And there was a big room and a small room at Ireland. So if you're in the small room, you really get like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes before the conference, before the talk, to sit and chat. Whereas it just felt like I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody. And I didn't go on the boat trip. And maybe that would have changed things a little bit, but I don't feel like a boat is a good venue for me to be chatting. Apparently, it's quite rocky. It was like, it was like a karaoke night. It didn't feel to me like it was gonna fill a gap that I needed. And in fact, we went for dinner with another lovely author who I've met several times, and like I only ever see her at SPS, and she's such a nice person. And I was so glad to get a chance to go for dinner with her, because I've never had a chance to like really sit and talk properly.
Like,
and it was
love
a delight.
her so much. Yeah, it was so good. Yeah, I really liked that. Yeah, because I thought we were going to go to dinner with a few people, but then it kind of turned out, oh, it's just us. And then we saw her and we're like, let's steal her as well. So that was really nice. I do think like the smaller chats were nice. It was really difficult to talk to anybody in like the big long room where they had the different like food and stuff in the stalls, because it was just like, I don't know if it's because the ceilings were a little bit lower. The sound was just very physical, and it was very hard to dense. Like I struggle anyway to hear people in a crowded room, because my ears are trying to listen to everything, not just one person. So I really struggled. And I did.
And there wasn't anyone to sit with the food. Everyone was just stood around holding their food boxes.
Yeah.
And
they were heavy.
What was annoying is like we could have sat in that bistro area next to the
further down the corridor,
to the main room. Yeah. So I think part of the issue was just like people not familiar with the space. I felt like I spent a long time looking for the rooms when I didn't know which one was which. And then standing around not being like, oh, should we go and sit and talk about something? So I don't think part of it was just like, it's the first year in this venue.
Yes.
But it did, and I'd said beforehand, and we'll talk in more detail in a minute about what we actually went to see, but like I'd said beforehand, unless SPS is really great, I'll probably just go to Ireland next year. And then when they flashed up at the end, like the early bird discount, the like QR code to buy, I was like, maybe. And part of it is for me, like I stay with a friend, so that has no cost, and I get to see my friend. And this year I got a grant to fund the train fare, which felt great. And so it's just the cost of the conference, which is, I think, significant because they want to put it on a very fancy venue, which would not be my choice. So it is significant for a time when, like, I think a lot of the talks there, they could be a podcast. And for someone who listens to a lot of podcasts, it felt like I've heard a lot of these things before. And I do find the benefit of going to a conference, like for me, is you listen extra carefully. Like, I also feel like I'm at school, which was a time when I listened extra carefully to things and made notes. In a way that you don't if you just like listen to a podcast while walking somewhere or doing the washing up. So there is something for the intensity of it, and I tried to only pick on the second day, not every single one, but like I focus on like vibey talks, ones where I would benefit from like the energy of being in the room, rather than ones that were practical. So there were quite a few talks on like Facebook or Amazon ads, and really I'm just going to watch it as a digital ticket while I've got my ads platform in front of me, because otherwise I won't remember anything. I wouldn't pay attention properly because I'd be like, I sort of think I know this. Does this sound familiar? And then I'll just forget it straight away. So yeah, the energy was great. But I think as someone who, this is my third conference of the year and I'm going to several retreats, I think it didn't have that feeling of like, in the past it would have been the only time of the year I got to have that kind of feeling, which was great. And now it doesn't, and I don't know, I might go, if I didn't have someone to stay with in London, I would not consider it. The expense of it is enormous, staying in London, travelling to London.
I had to make it my it was my summer holiday, effectively. Yeah. Like I had to make it
going
my
to Seville for me was my holiday, and it was lovely, and I got to eat a lot of gelato. But yes, I would not want to make London my holiday because I don't like London as much as you. You've got to see lots of nice museums and things.
Yes, I have not been into like central London for so long, so I usually just do like outskirts. I'll stay in like a just like Notting Hill or something, just be really bougie and just stay in one area. But I actually did all the stuff. I was in the centre, I was in museums, I was in aquariums, I was kind of around like a Londoner, and yeah, I did actually have a really good time. I did not expect it, but I was in the map. I was like I knew where I was going. I knew everything. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot to say, I went to the night before an extra course from Becca Syme, which is like 3 hours long, and like I had expected everyone there to be going to SPS, but I would say half the room were not. Half the room were there just because Becca Syme was putting on an event in London. And I do think if there's more people putting on like events around the period, that would be really good. Like you could have spent a whole day before attending various bits and pieces, because the Becca course, it was not super expensive for what it was. Obviously I wouldn't pick loads of those, but I do think the cost of the conference is a consideration for me if I was thinking about what to do. Because if I were booking accommodation and transport and the conference, you could go to the whole week at Ireland for the same cost.
Yeah.
Ireland, I think, makes a bigger effort to have the talks that like really benefit you being in the room. That you get a lot of interactivity, a lot of questions, which obviously I love. And you get talks where you need to watch a video in the room, and then the person talks about the talk, or you need to like fill in a document, or like there's things where it feels like you benefit from being there interactively, whereas London, like, it could be a podcast a lot of the time.
Yes, I agree. It was just a lot of information being given to you, and not there wasn't a lot of back and forth. And I think the venue was a big part of it. Like, it was a lovely venue, but it was very limiting. In the last venue, which was the South Bank Centre, you were able to leave the building easily and stand outside and go for like stretch legs.
There's a cafe to the side.
There was a cafe, and it also means that like the sound kind of got to escape, so it was a little bit quieter, and you could stand around and chat, and it wasn't like being in a crowded bar trying to talk. But in this new place, which was called something
County Hall.
County Hall. It was on the 4th floor, and you had to you have to wait for a lift to get up there, so there wasn't really a lot of opportunity to go somewhere else for a quiet chat. It kind of felt like you were all penned in. Didn't feel like there was a lot of places to go, or you didn't know where you could go, or if you were allowed to go down a different corridor. Who
Yeah.
knows? And there were other events were on at the same time, I think, down for other corridors. So it felt a little bit more oppressive being in that building. It was a beautiful place, but I will say one thing: great water
Interesting.
options.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like mixed water, the cinnamon water, one of my top three waters I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. The star anise
Yeah,
water that I had
that I didn't get to
again.
try.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they had
but it
this
felt
like I
like
feel like most people would not experience this, but they had like
no.
little dispensers of water that were most of the time just water, and then in the last session, like the last break of the day, they would put on some wild card options. And the
Yeah,
first day it was star anise water, which is like water just packed with star anise, which I didn't get to try. Apparently, it was delicious.
it was
And then the second
so
day,
good.
cinnamon
I could
water,
still
which I think
taste
was
it.
not actually water. I think it was like cinnamon in appetizer. It was
100%. Yeah.
unbelievable. It was like a nectar from the gods.
I
I
I
will be
don't I
thinking of that
just
for a long time.
yeah, I just don't understand who came up with it. Genius. Changed
Why
my
are they keeping it so
life.
secret? That should be like the highlight of the conference.
Yeah. I hope that other people are having conversations about this because I really struggle to remember to drink water when I'm out and about because I have
Mhm.
a like a nil by mouth when I'm out in public.
Yeah,
I'm like, really be careful how much you eat or drink because I like don't want to have to go to the toilet in between stuff. So I'm like worried that I'm
yeah.
gonna miss stuff. But I didn't do that this time because the water was so good. I stayed thoroughly hydrated. So good job them for like keeping my taste buds amused.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I would say the food they put on was fairly good. The fruit, top
Yes.
notch.
Grapefruit. Yeah.
Um, I love hotel fruit. I love someone pre-slicing on my fruit for me. If I was rich, I would have someone in my house just to slice tropical fruit. If I was rich, that's how you'd know.
Especially mango, for sure. I don't want to
Yeah.
chop a
But
mango.
all of it, I want a range of tropical fruit sliced on a plate.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was great. So that is everything about the kind of around the conference things. Um, but I think that is important because like that's what you're paying for, right?
Yes,
In the
the
SPS, like that is what you're paying
experience as
for.
well. Yeah, it's like the
Yeah,
physical experience as much as the things that you're going to is like, what is the actual space like? How does it feel
yeah,
when you're there? Yeah, it was.
yes. And I would say I'm still undecided whether I'm going to go next year because I know I am going to end up booked and paid for Ireland already, and it is
Yeah.
going to be phenomenal. And in fact, I mean, it's like it's got even better than I thought it was. So we did a whole podcast about the Island conference, and lovely Siobhan, who puts on the conference, listened to that episode and came out to me afterwards, like during SPS, and had a chat about it. Like had a chat about things we'd said, and talked about, and like really was like super excited to talk about, you know, get feedback and hear about like ideas for the conference, and was just so excited to be doing the conference, and that felt like really valuable. And it made me like Ireland even more, which you can't book a ticket. It's all booked out. I booked out in 48 hours. So,
Yeah, sorry
but if,
guys.
yeah, but that is a sign of, you know, a phenomenal conference where with no marketing, it sold out immediately and you can't get a ticket for love nor money. Um, whereas, you know, I think the bigger conference, SPS, like really has to it's got a big budget now. Like it has to sell a lot of tickets to make it worth such an expensive venue. And and so ticket is expensive. You also have to pay for your digital ticket afterwards. Um, and I don't know whether I feel like to me, I'm not sure I like having more sessions on the second day. So the second day, last year you had 5 sessions, but you could watch them in any order you wanted, and they were focused on the small group aspect. In previous years, you also had the same session on the second day, and this year 6 options every single time slot, but you could see whatever you didn't see on digital recording. And it then sort of feels like, well, I could watch them on digital recording and stay at home.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it sort of made things feel a bit less of the like intensity of the moment.
Yeah, and I
So,
know
so that's why I tried to only watch kind of vibey things because I wanted to get that
yeah.
vibe from the room.
I remember last year you were saying about the second day where the groups were smaller and you know there was a lot of back and forth between you and the
Yeah.
presenters, and it didn't feel like that was what we got this time. It felt, I mean, there was a lot of back and forth, and there was a lot of time for questions after
In some talks.
their talks, yeah. But it didn't feel too different from the talks the day before in terms of like how kind of close you were to the speaker, even though there were smaller rooms. I didn't feel like I was in any way in a conversational space.
Hmm. I felt like one that I went to was like that. So I went to one from Dan Wood.
Yes, his was good.
Yeah,
Wait,
and that was
was
about
I
how
at
to get
that
your
one?
books
That's the one. The yeah.
into
Of course,
libraries.
sorry. Yes, yeah. I was thinking, like, wait, is that Danwood? Yes,
Yeah.
that felt like that.
And there was a lot of time for questions because I think it's quite a it is quite a tricky topic. Like there are a lot of different options. People have heard various rumors of different things. I think like rules have changed. So it was really good to have someone in the room that you could just be like, "Can I just ask this question? Like, I've tried this and I'm not sure." And it's not a very transparent market, the audiobook market. So it's about putting audiobooks onto library platforms. And one of the things that he said, in fact, was that he was like, people often price their audiobooks too low. They're pricing them at the price you would retail at, but actually trad publishers are putting their audiobooks up for like 90 quid because it's a license. And if you're an indie author, to make it a bit more appealing, you might want to put it up for like 25 quid rather than your retail price. And the person next to me was like, "Oh, I'm gonna change that straight away. I have been underpricing my audiobooks, but there's no way to see what, like, there's no suggested price, there's no way to see what it should be." So there were quite a lot of like little niche things like that where you could ask someone a direct question of like, "Am I doing this thing wrong? Is this a correct?" So that felt good in the very small rooms, but in the bigger rooms, it did feel like they're huge, and you could ask a question, but it also felt like it had to be a really important question to be like one of the few that were going to get asked in the room.
Yes, here's the microphone. Speak directly into it.
Yeah,
Everyone is going to pay attention to you.
yeah. So yes, and I think this is, I've been for several years in a row. So I do think if it's been my first year, I would have had a really different experience. I would have really, like, I think it's set up in a great way for a first year person
Yes.
who wants to have like a full range of choice of different things to go and see, isn't necessarily valuing like a huge amount of interactivity because they've not got questions of their own. And it's not that everything is there for beginners. So you might even not be a beginner, but you've been to no conferences before, but you're an experienced author. I think the setup would work well. But I think having been to SPS for several years in a row, maybe it's just time for me to have a break, um, and go somewhere else for a year.
Yeah. It's and I know that there was a lot of people, like a lot of first-time authors there, because I could hear them talking when we were sat waiting for things to start. And there was definitely a vibe of people having never experienced that kind of thing before. I don't know. It sounds like I'm saying this as somebody who's been to so many of them. Obviously, this is only my second go, but you really learn quick what it's like.
Yeah.
So, it's not like I need to experience loads of them to be like, oh, like, okay, now I get it. It's like, no, I got it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely heard a lot of people chatting who hadn't yet released books, and I can really see how their eyes would have been open to so much stuff that they probably never come across. So I'm glad that they probably had a great time. I had a good time.
Yeah.
My brain is still not quite processing everything that I heard. It's definitely just trickling through very slowly.
Yeah. I thought we could, if you got anything fun, you talk through a couple of highlights. I've talked to anyone who has got digital ticket, like things that are worth watching. I think my favourite on day one, not my favourite, but like the one that really surprised me as being like a really fun talk, and that like is very memorable, was the with Damon Courtney's talk. So Damon Courtney runs Book Funnel. And I've seen him before. He's very,
Yes. Yeah.
like a nice person, gives talks often and seems very sweet. But his talk was about the Taylor Swift method, building a fandom in the age of AI. It was so good. And I was talking to him afterwards, and he was talking about a bit more about it. And he was just so lovely and so approachable. And I think what was interesting actually was I've seen him lots of times, but I've never spoken to him. And after that talk, I felt like I had a thing to bring up in conversation and like be able to talk about it. So like that was like an extra meta thing from the talk, because the thing he talked about in the talk was like a very visually memorable thing. And I was like, oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
And it made me think I could see how I could use that myself in real life, or in my author life. So like definitely watched Damon Courtney one. I also really love Becca Syme. I went to see Becca Syme 3 days in a row because I just think she has good vibes for me. I think she says the right things that sort of stick in my head in different ways. So yeah, I saw her about It's very like a question and premise talk. And she had some good specific things about certain strengths that stuck with me as well. And it was all about like question the very basic all the things that you hear a lot, like you can't edit a blank page. And she's like, that doesn't apply if you have thinking strengths high. Like you are editing in your head all the time.
Yes.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I'm the same. I was like, I don't know if I have many of those skills in my top 5. I was like, actually, yes, I do. I have like 2 of them in my top 5.
Yeah.
I'm such an internal processor. Like I think about the whole story before I even start writing. So
Yeah.
that's like, I was like,
The book that I was just planning.
Like it's exactly
Yeah, the book that's planning I was away. I'd got 10,000 words of notes that I just made in my phone over a few weeks. That are not directly like in the story. Some of them are dialogue sections of the story, but like that was just like that's me writing before I'm writing. And I think it was nice to kind of be like appreciate that is you writing.
Yes.
And then I also really like Ben Brown's talk on the last session about being a disaster and making money anyway, which was lovely. He is a very good speaker, and I have seen him speak at SPS before when he was giving a talk that was like a panel that was really memorable to me that was about quitting your day job in the previous year, and that was a really inspiring panel. They had a similar panel this year, but it was about becoming like a 6-figure author, and I think it was a little bit less relatable because everyone got quite different paths to it, and it felt very much like they were further along in the game than the people in the previous talk that I attended, the previous like become a full-time author. But Ben Brown's talk was great, and also he is such a good advocate for like write a really good book and like write the book that you want to write rather than like minimum viable product book, which I think you hear a lot at conferences in general, podcasts everywhere, and there were some very strong talks about that here, and it was good to hear a voice saying something quite different. And he's a good speaker.
He was really good at speaking. I kind of at the end of it I thought, because the title of his speech was How I Made $1 Million Despite Being a Total Disaster. And there was no point at all in his story where I thought that he was a disaster. I was like, does he... His level of being a disaster is not the same as mine, because he sounds like he pretty much got it sorted. Like, he's fine. I wasn't quite sure why he thought he was a disaster, but his talk was good.
I think I do. Like, if you stood him next to someone else who's made $1 million, they would have done all the standard things, right? Like he didn't have box sets for a really long time. He doesn't have any merch. Like there's a lot of things that he doesn't do that he's like, everyone else would do this, and I just never got I started it and he never got anywhere with it. And like he re-recorded his audiobook twice himself and then hired someone else to do it. Like a lot of it is like little disasters. But if you were standing him next to another 7-figure author, they would have quite different career routes.
Yes, he should have highlighted other people being better, because I was just like listening to him thinking like, this is just a normal way to be. Okay, maybe I too am a disaster, so I was just like, and I'm more forgiving of myself being a disaster, so I thought, he's fine. I don't know what he thinks, but
he is fine.
He's okay. He's doing fine. But his talk was really good. I love him and I don't ever remember people's names. No, Damon Courtney. I think when you see people who are just really good at talking, I would watch them talk about anything. And I love, that is such a good skill. So that was really nice, because sometimes people are on panels and they're a bit nervous, and it makes me feel a bit nervous, which is why I could never go to like stand-up. I can't do stand-up comedy. I can't watch stand-up comedy because I'm too nervous for other people. So I like it when people are good
on it. I think what's interesting, actually, I've seen Damon Courtney talk several times, and he's always very like a confident speaker. Like he never seems nervous, but that was the first talk where I really felt like I could see him as a person, because he was being purposefully, that was the whole point of his talk, right? He was he was showing how he could be him as a person, and it was, even if you've seen Damon talk before about anything, like this was a good talk to watch. It was really interesting, and he did a great job of it. Yeah,
he was very fun. Very, very fun.
And so he runs Book Funnel. Afterwards, when I was chatting to him, I was saying like, God, I love Book Funnel so much. Like everyone loves Book Funnel. Everyone always recommends it. And he's like, oh, that's so nice to hear, because all of our team, they just get complaints. That's their job, is to handle the complaints. Like, and sometimes it's hard to sort of see how much people like Book Funnel. And I'm the only one that goes to the conferences, and everyone back in the office just hears complaints all the time. It's like, oh, you need a little like heart button on the website so that the author can be like, thinking about you today, love you, Book Funnel people. Great work.
Have you enjoyed it today? Yes, I have. Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
I do. I love Book Funnel.
Who
Oh,
doesn't?
I know. Wrong people. So for your day 2,
Yeah.
there were so many things to pick from, and I did the same thing. I kind of just looked at something that I thought looked or sounded fun, rather than something that would have been a deep learning course,
Yeah.
because I know that I don't learn that way personally. Like listening to somebody talk is not for me. So I needed to pick things that were like, oh, fun. And I know we both went to the Becca Syme
Yeah.
8 types of fans every fandom needs. What did you think of that?
It was so good. And I feel like because I'm between switching genres, it didn't feel like one that I would have picked had it not been Becca Syme. Because it's not like I'm thinking, how am I going to build a fandom now? I'm not doing it right now. And I genuinely don't feel super comfortable with the idea of a fandom anyway. I don't want people to gather around me in any way. Like it feels like the antithesis of everything I would like.
You don't want to be hoisted
But
in the air on a chair and people to go,
no.
Matilda, Matilda.
No, it doesn't
Wow.
appeal. But I think it was really interesting. It was really interesting, and she was so good at splitting things out into like, if you're at this stage, worry about this type of fan. They will do this for you. And I think the word fan. We talked about like I don't like the word fan, because it suggests like giddiness to me,
and like a weird imbalance of power.
subservience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's just the way I've encountered the word before in the past, but like it doesn't feel like I want someone who's like loves. I don't know, not love something I've written. You know what I mean? Like, who is there for themselves, not there for me. That's how I want to perceive someone. Like, if they're doing something, I want them to do it for themselves. And I think she did a really good job of saying, like, this is what they get out of it, and this is why they want to be there, and what you can do to give them more of their experience they want. And that felt really lovely.
Yes, yeah, agreed. She like broke down like these different types of fans that you can have, and it was really like. It was really interesting because I was listening to her talk about this and I made loads of notes about it. And I realised really like I am... There's so much scope to build this kind of different kinds of fandoms. But you have to start at the start. And the first fandom that she talked about, I think she called it... I can't remember what the first one was called. Wait, I wrote it down.
Evangelist.
The Evangelist, which is like, number 1, the Evangelist. And that is... basically like the starting point. And I realized like as I was making notes about all the other types, I thought, oh god, this sounds like this is like completely out of my realm of possibility at this moment in time with like where I'm up to in my career. And then when I was going back through my notes, I was like, but evangelists, like the evangelist thing that she was talking about is really the first step, and I feel like I am there. So it was really nice to have that moment of like, oh, I'm actually I'm in this already. And it's nice to see stepping stones of where I could take it if and when I build my career up to a bigger point where I'll have more fans. It's like it's really nice to have that the groundwork to it, because I love a path to follow. So I love when somebody lays it out, and it felt so nice. Like, oh, like here's stuff that I can do that feels like it's like the path's paved. I can just It's just a fun
and there were
way.
like several things like, don't think about this to start with. These ones are not for you, but they're for you to know about later. And it did feel very much like, here's the steps. And I do think the concept of fan is so generic and vague. Sorry. But like to have, and this is just Becca's pet project, right? There's nothing to do with anything else she does. She's like, I've been really into it for 2 years, so I've done like an enormous self-study project, and here's this self-study project on the screen. But yeah, just like, so you just start here, and here's a specific sort of person and what they want to get out of this experience, and here's how you can give that to them. It's like, oh, rather than like the generic concept of fan, which makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It feels like a minion.
Yeah, I feel the same. The word fan, because I myself wouldn't... I'm a fan of lots of things, but I'm not in a fandom. I'm not somebody who's
a joiner.
I'm not a joiner, and I feel weird when people like scream at celebrities or really excited to see a celebrity. And I will say this with like some sort of like a big picture salt is there are a lot of celebrities where I live. Like I live in a very like in a place where I see a lot of people that you see on TV, and So maybe I'm just like a little bit like,
Because it makes you sound so like
I know,
Kardashian.
it's so
It is
bougie.
weird. Yeah, and I used to go to school there, and it is just by an odd coincidence an area that is very like has big houses in, like a lot of big houses
Yes.
in the same area. So a lot of rich
Hmm.
people live on the outskirts of this place.
Yeah.
And there's not really another like such a bougie place of big houses
It's
in the north of England.
no. So I live in a place where like just celebrities kind of gather here weirdly, and they
Yeah.
come and go.
Also, a
They're
lot of
like,
regular people live there. Like my
and
high school was there.
yes, like exactly, like, and I live here, so it's like I'm just a normal person, guys, please. But maybe because I am not somebody who's like starstruck about people, maybe I just don't get it. But I've never been that sort of person. It's like, oh my god, there's a famous person. I'll take pictures. I want this person's autograph. Like I'm not that sort of person. I just like seeing people do things well, and I'm like, oh, like this person wrote such a good book. Like I like them. And that's just what I want people to be like with me. I want people to be like, oh, she's written a good book, and I really like her. She seems nice. That's what I'm looking for. So I don't really
I
want
like the book. Yeah.
like it's not like a fandom that I want. It's just I want people to just like me in passing, where they think like she deserves
Good book.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the book's great, and oh look, she's selling like some t-shirts and like oh here's a box set, and oh then maybe they're making a TV show out of one of her things, like how cool. So yeah, I'm very much
I took
of that.
4 pages of notes about that. It was a nice learning experience, even in the abstract. It was a good talk to watch if you like learning stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and also made me feel like good and vibey of like I can do things and I've got some tools. And then another one that I watched that I watched Dan Wood, which is about library sales, which I had just put off because couldn't be bothered. And he gave such good information. And I took over a page of notes. And he was really nice. Like he was very personable and had a lot of clear notes and like really explaining things step by step as well. So I really like that. I like all talks like that. And then another talk that I liked, I went to Alex Newton's talk, which I always do because I'm a sucker for data, and so that was nice. It didn't take any notes. It was just like I like an Alex Newton talk. I maybe felt like I should have picked somebody else because I just go to that because I like data and feeling like someone told me the data was nice. But there may be other talks. But anyway, I enjoyed it. And then and then everyone went to the big kind of ending keynote talk. That was good. I loved it.
Yes.
So what else did you see on the second day that you liked?
I also went to the Kickstarter talk with Ariana Leckert, and that was just really a really fun way of seeing like somebody talking about the actual physical process of setting up a Kickstarter. And like I've always been really interested in Kickstarter, and I've always put it off because coming at it from, you've seen other people running Kickstarters and you see the pages and everything, like that's one thing, but actually understanding the process behind it and just like what you should do and the best way to go about it is another thing completely. So it was really nice to see her explain, and she did screenshots of everything, and I took loads of notes about like the best way to set up a Kickstarter, like what the average budget is that you should kind of contemplate, and how like what average pledges are that people get, the kind of conversions you should expect. So I took lots of notes about just
she works at Kickstarter, right? She's the book person at Kickstarter.
She is the book person at Kickstarter, yeah. So it was just really nice to have somebody there who like, and obviously Kickstarter's not just for books, but like a lot of people use it for books, and she was very knowledgeable about people putting book campaigns on there. And it just felt like a fun way to dip a toe into something that I want to do in the future. And
I didn't go because I felt like I'd be like, I'll do Kickstarter now. I'm all in.
Yes, I mean, I didn't think that it would make me want to do
it.
it.
She was very enthusiastic, and I was like, if I see her,
I'll be in. She was
the same
really,
as
really
Sasha
good.
Black on the second day. I was like, I can't watch Sasha Black talk about something. She should talk about direct sales.
I know.
Can't watch talk about it without wanting to do it.
No, I was the same. I couldn't go and see Sasha Black because I thought I can't get into doing direct sales right now. And I'm sure that she's so enthusiastic, and she's so good at just being like, oh, you know what, I can, if I can do this, like anybody else can do this. And it's I couldn't put myself through that. But the Kickstarter was really fun. I took plenty of notes that I need to at some point put somewhere. I don't know. I really did like the Beyond was it called Beyond KU? So the library market was very fun to go to.
One,
yeah. And he was such a dry speech giver, but in a really nice way. It was just like, oh, I'll sit and listen to him talk.
Seems like he's going to be like a boring speaker, right? Because he dressed quite seriously and he's got a serious name. I don't know. And he looks like he could just give like a very monotonous dry talk, but he's so personable and lovely. I've never seen him speak before, I don't think.
That's it. Like, he seems so sweet, and he just is like, wants to give you all the information and, you know, like to let you know that you can do these things. I actually really enjoyed just the non-presentery type of talk that he gave, which wasn't like big personality. It was just here are some slides, let's go through them. Very, very comforting. And as you know, because I love ASMR, it was kind of like a bit of an ASMR experience of like, this is relaxing. I like this.
For those who don't like ASMR, it did not have that horrible trigger experience. You can still watch it.
No, it wasn't like, he wasn't whispering.
He wasn't whispering into the mic and tapping his fingers on it.
No, it was just a very peaceful, it's like a quite low energy talk that I just really enjoyed. When he started talking, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. And
it was for a whole hour. Like, the talk was like a day for an entire hour, and you think, what could you talk about like getting your books in libraries for an hour? But loads, and it was I came away feeling like I could go away and do this right now. 100%
I put it on my list of, this is something that you can do like by the end of the year. It was a very fun, very, not, I wouldn't say easy, but not beyond the realms of possibility. It's not like a big, it's like, it's better, it's easier than Kickstarter for me. So I think
I would not have put it on my list had it not been for Dan Wood's talk. That was like, just what he said.
I wouldn't have thought about it at all. And then it just seemed like an interesting topic, and I'm really glad I went, because I legitimately would not have had a clue where to start if I'd started thinking about that. I would never have thought that it would be possible. So I really liked it.
And it's been possible for months, right? Because they changed the KU rules saying you could put your books in libraries. But I was just like, I can't learn another thing. I can't learn another platform. I can't be as tedious.
But it's like, doesn't look too bad. And in fact, I think I opened my account because it's with Drafter Digital. And I logged into my account and I was like, actually, you know, like, this platform is really easy to use. Why have I put
Why
this
haven't you
off?
formatting your books on it?
I know. Yes, I know. Well,
one thing to note with that is that Draft has also changed their rules this year, so that you do have to pay a fee for having an account, and if you earn less than a certain amount of money per year, and that is also included for using it for library sales. They're nominal fees. They're just to stop people like putting up huge numbers of accounts with AI books, which has clogged their system, which their vendors don't want anyway. So they put nominal fees in, and I think not something you'd be off put by, but be aware that you need to be paying those factors into your library sales.
Yes. Lastly, like the last one that we watched, which was the genre data from K-Lytics.
Yeah,
I liked it. And also
question mark
struggle to, you know, he talks a lot about the data, obviously, because it's just all graphs, and I'm not somebody who can really understand graphs other than I see colours and I'm like, cool, a graph with colours, but I don't know what I got from it. I didn't write any notes.
I didn't write notes, and I feel like I did get plenty from it, but only in a sort of I got a good vibe from it, and I basically put like, he had a Venn diagram on one of his slides, which was where money, joy, and skill intersect. Like, that's your like your I didn't think that was it. I think that was Rachel McLean's.
Oh, do you think?
Because that's her hedgehog method thing.
Oh, maybe I wrote it on the wrong page. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe that was the wrong one. Oh, hold on. Let me find. Do.
You know we're on the podcast right now. You're doing your humming thing.
I'm sorry. I do my humming thing. I wrote it on my genre page, but that's really weird, because I wouldn't have remembered that from the other one. Was hers after?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be
Immediately
why.
after. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why it's on that page. Okay, well then, yeah, there was like a Venn diagram that she put up, and it was
Yeah.
about your kind of your key area to focus on. And even though like
Yeah.
a Venn diagram is obviously like super simple, I wrote that down because I thought that's like just something to remember, because there's always so much noise about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it felt like that is really the key takeaway for me is you can take in all of this stuff, but if you're not enjoying it, what's the point?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's really what I
And
came away from the whole thing. Think that was like my
yeah.
like Jerry's final thought.
Yeah.
Maury's final thought, was it Jerry or Maury who did a final thought?
Yeah, it was Jerry, because then he had, and then
Okay,
after that I was like, be good to yourselves and
yeah,
each other.
yeah. So Jerry's final thought, got to enjoy it. Don't forget that like we started this because we really liked it.
Yeah. And that was from Rachel McLean's talk. She had a talk that was just half an hour long at the very end, and I could have watched an hour long for that one. It was called I Burnt Out So You Don't Have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what's interesting for me for that is she has been on that stage a few times since I've started going. And the very first one was her being like, I wrote for several years in all sorts of mishmatches of genre and didn't make any money. And then I picked a single genre because I didn't want to adapt to my new job changes. I wanted to pick a genre that made money, and I picked a single genre. And then I wrote books to market and I made loads of money. And then she wrote a book about how to do it. It's called something like How to Write a Bestseller, which I'll link in the show notes because we've mentioned that a few times. That she did update last year, so it's a few years old, but it has been, there's a new edition. And she talked about that and like, here's steps that you can follow. And then she's talked another time about like expanding her team, and she talked another time about email marketing. That was specific this year, but like, so I've seen her talk a few different times, and this year was basically like, I've got bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and I've talked about it all. And this last couple of years, all I've done is like get rid of it all, like undo everything, because I wasn't enjoying it, and what's the point?
Yeah.
And like, she was putting so much money in the business that it was like a huge turnover, but like not getting a lot out of it, which just feels like my biggest possible stress. I would hate to be in that position.
She effectively
Nightmare.
just made a publishing machine.
Yeah.
and she was the only conductor of the publishing machine. With like, she had like staff and stuff, but obviously she was the boss. That is not where most people want to end up. Being a boss of a company. I'm sure like for some people that's fantastic, but it was really good to hear her talk about that, because I feel like it's a trap that is probably easy to fall into, is thinking that you're supposed to get bigger and bigger. You're supposed to hire people. You're supposed to be, if you turn over 1 million, your next year you're supposed to turn over 2 million. That
and then
is,
you get the more opportunity got offered to you, and you feel like you can't say no.
That's
a few people said
trap.
that as well, and that was really useful to hear.
That's like, I've never wanted to chase money like that in my day job either, and I don't ever want to chase money like that in this job, which is and that's something that I've never really, that's kind of like an epiphany for this moment in time, because I've never thought about that. Like, I've never in a corporate world had never wanted to play the game of, can I get a promotion to get more money? So I don't want to do that either, and I'm glad that she did that talk, because now I'm like, oh, okay.
Not for me.
Yes. I'm sorry she went through that.
So yes, there were good talks, and I did come away feeling that good feeling of like, I've got all the ideas, and partly like the real benefit of having gone is after that conference, there was someone that I met that I'd met once before, who's writing the new genre that I want to write in, and I have a meeting with him next week. The person that we had dinner with, I've got a meeting with her next week. After that conference, I set myself a goal of like every day for the next week to reach out to someone in my new genre, and email them and be like, where you meet other people, like how do we get contacts in this group? A bit more formally than that, but like generally, I was like, I would never have the confidence to do that without attending SPS and just like getting used to talking to other authors. So it is like if you've never been to a conference before, it's a great one to go to. It's easy to get to. It's in a nice venue, and it is a good, like, gives you all the skills you need. But I am still on the fence about whether I'm going to go next year. How about you?
I think unless something drastically changes in my finances, I probably
Yeah.
won't go because it was such a big expenditure. And it's also like I kind of feel a bit bad because I had to turn it into a holiday, and I dragged Brian along, ghost boyfriend, to come with me, even though he had a great time and stuff, but I still left him alone for 2 days in the big city, and he's a ghost, so what's he gonna do? Can't open doors on his own and stuff. So I felt a little bit bad dragging him along, but I also loved being in London, so I don't know. And it was just really nice seeing people, but at the same time I'm going to Ireland next year, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll just do Ireland next year and see what happens, and see if I get super super bad FOMO for SPS.
Yeah.
Then I'll know that I'll go the next year.
They should have gone the year after, yeah. Or they offer a lot of last minute tickets because people realize they can't go from one week to another. So
Yeah.
could buy a last minute ticket.
Yeah. I'll see what happens. I'll see what the universe wants for me.
Yes. Yeah. I will keep pondering it. But I do think I would recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think I've been 5 times in a row. Maybe. I think 5, which is a lot. And yeah, if I just went to one next year, if I could only afford to go to one next year, and I really, really had to say only one, Ireland is the one. For me right now, for where I'm at the moment, I enjoy the extended conversation time with fewer people, more intense. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. I've already booked onto that. No, you can't have my ticket. To anyone listening, and I'm so excited about it. And then I'm going to ponder London, which is interesting because I had definitely said no, I'm not going to London next year. And then now I'm like, maybe.
You got caught up in all of the excitement of the end of SPS, the last kind of hurrah where everyone gets all their gifts and stuff and wins all of the prizes. Yeah. You got caught up in it all.
In the excitement, yeah. So maybe.
Okay. Do you have any more things you want to say about SPS?
No.
No, me either. Next week we are coming back to discuss alternative to ads, just to completely throw a fun curveball. And what do we mean by this?
Oh, I forgot I'd asked that question of myself. So I think it's just been a while since we had a good chat about any other thing we could be doing. And because we're both looking at new genres, not all genres are equally ads focused. Some are very social media focused. Some are have loads of blogs. Cozy Missions has quite a lot of blogs in the area, and Facebook groups, but not all genres do. So I think just having a good overview of other things you can be doing that are not just advertising, and thinking do you want to do it, do you not want to do it, rather than just saying I'm just going to focus on ads, which might be the end result of the conversation. But I think it's good for us just to have an occasional review and rethink of things, that we're not just dismissing stuff without thinking about it.
Yes, agreed. Basically, other forms of marketing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about it because it has been a while. We've definitely talked about ads a lot recently, so it'll be good to ignore ads for now and see what else is out there to move the needle.
Yes.
Okay.
Exciting.
Well, yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you like what you hear and you're not already in Discord, jump in Discord. It's free to join. No need to pay, but we do have paid tiers. So the information is in Discord and on our website. You can go, and in our coffee as well, you can see what's available for the different tiers.
Which is linked in the show notes.
It is all linked in the show notes, yes. Yeah, be sure to join us any which way you can. It's very fun. We hang out there all the time, and there's lots of helpful hints and tips, and No Stupid Questions is the best place to be. So, yes, until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.